Hello dear learners. Today we will discuss about forms of DNA. DNA or nucleic acid, they are group of long chain of macromolecules, that is nucleotides that carries the genetic information in it, which directs all the cellular functions and which is made up of chain of nucleotides. There are two different types of nucleic acid. It can be DNA or it can be RNA. Both of them they carries or they are the genetic material in a cell. DNA, deoxyribonucleic acid, an extremely long double-stranded nucleic acid molecule arranged as double helix, that is the main constituent of the chromosome, and it carries the genes as segment along its axis. This DNA, when allowed to express, that is allowed to undergo through transcription, it can form mRNA, and that mRNA can further form the protein with the help of other RNAs, that is tRNAs and rRNAs. DNA, the double helix structure which was given by Watson and Crick, we are pretty familiar with that structure. It states that this double stranded structure or this two helix, the DNA, it looks like a double helix, that is two strands which are coiled over one another. So these two strands are anti-parallel strands. The DNA has polarity in it, 5' to 3' polarity. These two strands, they are anti-parallel. These two strands, they are joined together by hydrogen bonding. And this hydrogen bonding, in that case, we call it as a base pairing. This pairing is followed by a Chargaff rule. That is, A pairs with T and G, it always pairs with C, and vice versa. That is, adenine, it always pairs with thymine, and cytosine, it always pairs with guanine. While forming this bond, it is known that the A and T, between A and T, there are two hydrogen bonds, while in G and C, three hydrogen bonds are formed. Now, this structure, it keeps on continually forming, that is this this base pairing, it keeps on continuously along the axis while making a slight tilt or rotation in this helix. Because of this, it gives the appearance of helical structure or helical nature to this DNA. Now the backbone of this helix is the phosphate molecules which are present on the exterior side. We know that the phosphate, they are charged groups, they carry negative charge on them, and they are free to interact with the surrounding molecules. While the nitrogen bases, they are hydrophobic and they avoid the contact with the surrounding environment. So while forming this particular structure, this nitrogen bases, they are present interior side, and the phosphate groups, they are present on the exterior side. Here we can see this one strand 5' to 3' and another strand 5' to 3'. They are anti-parallel. They are made up of base pairing, that is adenine, thymine, guanine, cytosine. There is a twist and turn which makes it to form an helical structure. What happens in this structure is, if we try to simplify this structure, we can have these two strands, this yellow color strands, they are two strands of DNA, 5' to 3' and 5' to 3'. They are anti-parallel strands. This is a sugar, pentose sugar. This is a nitrogen base. This is thymine. It pairs with adenine on the complementary strand. Complementary strand means the another strand with which it is pairing, and the complementary nucleotide is, for A it is T and for T it is A. That is A and T, they are complementary nucleotides. Similarly is true for G and C. Wherever G nucleotide will be seen, it will pair up with the C and vice versa. So these two strands, they are joined together by hydrogen bonding, and this particular structure we call it as an base pair. This particular component that is made up of nitrogen base, a sugar and a phosphate, we call it as a nucleotide. So this single strand is made up of chain of nucleotides joined together by phosphodiester bonds. This is another strand made up of nucleotides again joined together by phosphodiester bonds, and these two strands, they are joined with one another by hydrogen bonding. Now variations in DNA. Most of the DNA is in the classic, that is Watson and Crick model. So Watson and Crick, they have given the data of B form of DNA. B form of DNA is the universal form, or it is the most prominent form that can be seen under most of the natural given conditions. But under certain conditions, the different forms of DNA are also seen, which can be A form, Z form, sometimes we can see the C form. Even D and E forms are also seen under suitable environmental conditions. These deviations in forms are based on their structural diversity. The X-ray analysis of DNA crystals at an atomic resolution have revealed that the DNA, they exhibit much more structural diversity than which was formerly envisaged. Such variations are bDNA, that is the most common structure, originally deduced from X-ray crystallography. We all know the work of Rosalind Franklin, the X-ray crystallography image number 52. That was of B form of DNA. So that structure, it is seen at 92% relative humidity. While A form this is originally identified by X-ray crystallography, but at 75% relative humidity. If the humidity has been reduced from 92 to 75, this B form is converted into A form. Likewise, the Z form is also routinely seen. That is, the uniqueness of the Z form is it is a left-handed double helix structure. Unlike the B form and A form or even C form, which are right-handed, the Z form is the left-handed helix structure, which winds to the left in the zigzag manner. Therefore, it gets its name as an zDNA. The cDNA is formed at relatively 66% humidity and in presence of lithium and magnesium ions. So under a very limited or strict condition, we can find such types of or such variant of DNA. Even the D and E forms are also seen. The D form is a very rare variant with 8 base pairs per helical turn. We will discuss this terminology, what is a helix and what is a turn, what is base rise and all. So in case with the D DNA, it has 8 base pair per helical turn and forms its structural, which is devoid of guanine. That is the nucleotides or the chain of nucleotide which is lacking guanine in it. That is simply A, T and C. These 3 nucleotides are seen. Even E form of the DNA can be seen, which is also known as eccentric DNA. Now the double helix structure, here we will see the structure which was given by the Watson and Crick. The Watson and Crick has given this particular structure where the 2 strands are anti-parallel. These 2 strands run along the axis. It forms this twist-like structure, we call it as an helix. In this helix, where we will find a shallow groove, we call it as a minor groove, while a big groove comparative to that of minor groove, it is a comparatively more deeper. So this structure or this area we call it as a major groove. It is the site which interact with most of the proteins. That is, we know DNA is in constantly in contact, or it is associated with different proteins. For the sake of say replication, for the transcription, it interacts with the different proteins. Even for the DNA modifying enzymes, it has to interact with the proteins. So most of the proteins, they interact with this DNA in its major groove. Now the helix, it is the B form of DNA. It has some numericals, like its diameter is of 20 angstrom, that is 2 nanometer. So the width or the diameter is 2 angstrom, or sorry 20 angstrom or 2 nanometer. This one helix, that is from minor groove to another minor groove, this particular turn we call it as an helix, one helix. So one helix, it consists of 3.4 nanometer or 34 angstrom. The rise between these two nucleotides, that is between C and A, here we can see these are the nucleotides on one strand. So this rise between, or we can call it as a pitch between these two nucleotides, is 0.34 nanometer or 3.4 angstrom. And the helix pitch, that is the distance between two consecutive minor groove or major groove, that is a helix, it is 3.4 nanometer or 34 angstrom. In case with the B form of DNA, in this one helix there are around 10.5 base pairs of nucleotides. Base pairs means one nucleotide is complementary, linked with the another complementary nucleotides on the opposite strand or complementary strand. Here we can see this G and C, they are joined together by 3 hydrogen bonds, while A and T, they are joined together by 2 hydrogen bonds. Purines, as they are made up of double cyclic ring structures, here we can see they are purine derived. We will find one 6-membered ring and another is 5-membered ring structure. So immediate next to it there is a groove structure that can be formed. So this B form of DNA, it is made up of 34 angstrom or 3.4 nanometer, and this rise between the two nucleotides or a pair of nucleotide, it is 0.34 nanometer or 3.4 angstrom. Now the B form of DNA, which was described by Watson and Crick, this is the most commonly found form. The DNA molecule, it consists of 2 helical polynucleotide chains coiled around a common axis. Here we can see this, there is a presence of an imaginary central axis. There is no such axis in nature, but we have imagined that around a central axis, this helix or the strands of DNA, they are coiling. So 2 helix are wound in such a way so that to produce 2 interchain spacing or grooves. The major or wide groove, which is around 12 angstrom in width and around 8.5 angstrom in depth, while the minor groove, which is a shallow groove, its width is only 6 angstrom and its depth is only 7.5 angstrom. These grooves, provide the site or the surface where the proteins, the chemicals, the drugs, the molecules will come and interact with it. That is the enzymes or other molecules, they will come and interact with this DNA. So this is a simplified view of the double helix structure given by Watson and Crick. Its diameter is 20 angstrom. This is an imaginary central axis around which these 2 strands are wound together, joined together by hydrogen bonding, base pairing. This groove is the major groove and the another one is the minor groove. This one is the minor groove. So one complete turn, it consists of, So one helix, it consists of 34 angstrom, and there are around 10.5 base pairs. So the rise between these two nucleotides is 3.4 angstrom. Two helical, they winds along the molecules. These two chains run in opposite direction as they are anti-parallel. The plane of base are perpendicular to the helix, that is the imaginary helix. The right-handed twisting, this strands, they are coiled around one another and they are moving in a right-handed twisting or helix form with a uniform diameter of around 20 angstrom, following the complementary base pair, that is the Chargaff rule. Then the base pair per turn is 10.4 and rise per base pair is 3.4 angstrom. Now the next variant of DNA is A form of DNA. This A form of DNA, or also simply known as aDNA, is one of the possible double helical structure which DNA can adopt occur along with the two other biological variants, that is B and Z form. These are right-handed double helix structures. This particular structure or this particular form is comparatively short and fat compared to bDNA. Now imagine we have a spring in our hand. Imagine the B form of DNA is a spring forming a helical structure. Now this spring has an important characteristics that it can be, when you press it, its overall length can be reduced and it can be made short. And even if you apply a pressure, we can extend the length of this particular spring. Now imagine the B form of DNA is a spring under any pressure. So this is a spring which is not disturbed, unaltered. The spring is the B form of DNA. Now while studying the A form of DNA, which is a short and fat compared to the B form of DNA. Now you can press that spring with your, say, finger and a thumb. If you keep on pressing, what will happen? It will become shorter in length. But in doing so, there is a chance that its width may increase. So this, when you apply a pressure and you try to reduce the length of that particular spring, it is converted into a short and fat. So imagine same this with the different forms of DNA. The A form of DNA is comparatively short. That means it is having very close base pairing. That is, the stacking is comparatively at a closer distance or a smaller distance when you compare this with the B form of DNA. And obviously when you bring this, when you reduce down this, the pitch length, what will happen? It will turn out to be a comparatively fatter, that is, the diameter will increase. So do remember that the A form of DNA is shorter and comparatively fat compared to the B form of DNA. This particular form, it occurs only in dehydrated sample of DNA, such those used in crystallographic experiment. So for X-ray crystallography or for crystallographic analysis, what we do is we desiccate the sample. In doing so, we remove the water and other moisture content. So obviously the humidity is reduced, and in that case the B form is converted into A form. The A form of DNA or aDNA was originally identified by X-ray crystallography of DNA fiber at relatively 75% humidity. The grooves are not as deep as B form of DNA. The bases are more tilted, say to around 20 angstrom, and the base pair per turn is 11. Remember, in case with the B form, it was 10.4. So we have we have applied a pressure on that spring. Because of that, what has happened? The helix pitch has been reduced and these nucleotides have been brought more together. So now 11 nucleotide can fit in one helix. While the rise per base pair is 2.3 angstrom. In case with the B form, it was 3.4 angstrom. Here we can see this B form of DNA. Here we can imagine, or we can see this. It seems like the pressure has been applied on this helix from both the sides. Next form of DNA is the Z form of DNA. Z form is one of the many possible DNA double helix structures that can be formed. It is left-handed double helix structure. Now there is uniqueness of this particular form. It is a Z form, or it is a zigzag form, and it is left-handed. The backbone were in zigzag manner when it was studied, or when it was firstly identified. It was discovered by Rich, Nordem and Wang in 1984. It has anti-parallel strands as that seen in case with the B form of DNA. It is a long and thin compared to B form. Now imagine again that spring, and we are pulling that spring away from one another. The two ends of the springs are pulled away from one another. It forms a long and thin spring, that is the helix structure, compared to that of the B form of DNA. Now here is some remarkable characteristics about B form of this Z form of DNA. That is the adjacent sugars, they have alternating orientation. That is against, in case with the B form, which was not having altering orientation, in this case it is having altering orientation. Therefore we call it as a zigzag form or Z form. In case with the Z DNA, the purines are in their syn conformation, that is the bases and the sugars, they are over one another, that is they are close to one another, while the pyrimidines, they are in their anti-structure. So while discussing the nucleotides, we have discussed this terminologies, what is syn and what is anti-structure. Syn is the structure in which the sugar, the nitrogen base and the sugar, they overlap one another. They are in close vicinity to each other. That is boat and chair structure we have discussed. While in case with the anti-structure, it leads to formation of the chair-like structure. That is the nitrogen base and the sugar, they are in opposite direction. So it forms the anti-structure. So in case with the Z form of DNA, the purines, they are in their syn conformation, but the pyrimidines, they are in the anti-conformations. Now in this case, Z form of DNA, because of this, it forms only one deep helical groove. It do not form the minor groove. There are around 12 base pairs per turn with axial rise of 3.8 angstrom. So this rise is comparatively far more greater than that of B form of DNA, which was 3.4 angstrom. And the angle of twist is 60 degree. So it is comparatively far more greater than that of the B form of DNA. Here we can see this particular structure. Imagine that spring, it has been stretched to a larger extent. It has formed this particular structure. Now the next variant, which is a minor variant, C form of DNA, which is formed at 66% relative humidity and in presence of lithium and magnesium ions. This particular structure is also right-handed structure with axial rise of 3.32. If you compare it with the B form, it was 3.4 angstrom per base pair. The 3.3 base pair per turn. In case with the B form, it was 10.4. The helix pitch is around 30 angstrom. 30.97 means 31 angstrom. In case with the B form, it was 34 angstrom. The rotation in this case, it is 38.58, has a diameter of 19 angstrom, which is comparatively smaller. The tilt of base is 7.8 degree. So here we can see this C form of DNA, which is seen under 66% of relative humidity and in presence of lithium and magnesium ions. The D form of DNA, it is extremely rare variant with only 8 base pairs per helical turns. This form of DNA is found in some DNA molecule which is devoid of guanine, that is, which is lacking guanine in it. The axial rise is 3 angstrom and tilt is 16.7 from axis. Now this particular structure, it can form in two different forms. These two DNA structures have similar helix parameters. Here we can see this. Ideally the A should pair with T and G should pair with the C, but here the G is lacking. So this novel type of pairing can be seen in case with this D form of DNA. Another form of DNA which is a rare form again is E form of DNA. It gets its name from eccentric double helix. So the cytosine, upon methylation or bromination of DNA sequence GGC GCC. So on this particular sequence, the cytosines, it is the cytosine which is either methylated or brominated, is it leads to or it induces to the formation of a rare structure, a novel structure called as an eccentric double helix structure. We can call it as an E form of DNA. As the name suggests, eDNA has a long helical axis rise and base perpendicular to the helical axis. It has deep major grooves and shallow minor grooves. eDNA allowed to crystallize for a period time which is comparatively longer. The methylated sequence, it forms the standard aDNA. eDNA is the intermediate form in the transition of aDNA. eDNA is the intermediate of crystallographic pathway from B to A transition. Here we can see this particular sequence and the cytosine, they are methylated. We know this DNA methylation is in epigenetics, we have studied this. The methylation of the cytosine in the CpG islands, that is the cytosine and guanine, the site which is rich in this cytosine, that is G and C content, is called as an CpG islands. So when this particular site is found and it is methylated, it can lead to the gene silencing. So these different forms of DNA can be compared here. A, B and Z forms are compared here. A and B, both of them are right-handed while Z is the left-handed. B form is the intermediate. So imagine that spring. Imagine that spring under normal given condition at this particular B form. When you press it, what will happen? It will form the wider grooves and it will be extended. While in case with the Z form, it is narrowest. The plane of base here is perpendicular to the axis, similarly seen in all other cases. Central axis, tiny central axis can be seen. In case with the A form, 6 angstrom holes can be seen along the axis. And in case with the Z form, there is no space because it forms a zigzag-like structure. No intermediate space can be, or no internal space can be seen in case with the Z form of DNA. The major grooves, they are wide and deep in case with the B form. They are narrow and deep in case with the A form. And there is no major groove seen in case with this Z form. Here we can compare these three different forms of DNA. B form, here we can see this from the top view. Side view, here we can see. In case with the A form, here we can imagine that the spring has been pressed from both the side and it has reduced its helix pitch. So right-handed here structures here we can see, and this is a left-handed and zigzag-like structures can be seen. Comparing this configuration between the B and Z forms. So the coiling here it is right-handed, here it is left-handed. Number of grooves, here there is presence of both major and minor grooves. Here is only presence of minor groove. Base pairs per turn it is 10.5. In case with the Z it is 12. In case with the helix pitch it is 34 angstrom. Here the helix pitch is comparatively more, that is 44.6. Helix diameter was 20 angstrom. Here it has been reduced to 18 angstrom. The nucleotides it forms all anti-conformation, while in case with the Z form the purines are in their syn form while the pyrimidines are in the anti-conformation. Here we can compare these two helix structures, anti and syn conformation. Syn conformation is only seen in case with the Z form of DNA. So this particular chart it compares the A, B, C and Z forms of DNA. So it is a, in summary, we can compare or we can study all these four forms of DNA. You can have a screenshot of this particular slide. This is enough for today. We'll stop here. Thank you.